Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Chris, and we are talking about the DC Fandome event today. All day, a lot of posts, a lot of updates, a lot of reveals, first looks, and teaser trailers. But there has been one underlying point to the entire event, one thing that's been mentioned in a lot of the separate panels, and something that had its own small little panel of its own that I want to cover. So we're going to talk about the multiverse, the DC multiverse, and its relevance in the entirety of everything that is DC, and what appears to be the plan of Jim Lee and the rest of the executives over at DC for the multiverse and the movies we've gotten up to this point. So welcome back to Cosmic Culture. If you want to stay up to date on all major movie and television news, especially DC and Fandome, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on your notification bell. We're covering it live today. So the multiverse, the DC multiverse, they've talked about it a lot. It had its own panel for a moment there, and Jim Lee and the executives from both the TV and the movie part of the industry were sitting with him and talking a little bit about the relevance and the importance of the multiverse for the DC universe. Now, they haven't referred to anything as the DCEU, which prior to today, I think most of us would have assumed was the main stage of DC events, the competitor of the MCU, and a total mess. All over the place, doesn't make sense, the characters are confusing, and one day it's this person and the next day it's a different actor. But the explanation that they seem to be touching in almost every panel about the multiverse in the DC universe seemingly shows us that they've been setting up this colossal board of different characters, parallel universes, and they're planning on having them all connect in the Flash movie. So the way that Jim Lee broke it down, and I can't use much of the footage because they are copyright claiming almost anything used from the event, so I'm going to have to just describe it to you. What happened was, he says, we have this multiverse. DC was the first to use the multiverse way back when they introduced it in the comic The Flash of Two Worlds, which is an interesting Easter egg, and we're going to get to that. However, he talks about how the multiverse is going to be playing a colossal role in the future of DC productions, not just movies, but also television shows. We know both of our Flashes from the movies and from the TV shows have already met in a TV show, Intertanglement, where they start talking about how all the parallel universes have a point and play a space. So the way they describe it is, if you were to put all of the Earths right by each other, side by side, with dividing lines, that is a parallel universe, and there's an infinite amount with infinite different amount of possibilities. Characters can be different genders, different races, different forms of characters, and even different types of species. And that is an infinite amount of possibility that is laid within the DC multiverse. Now, this is a prerogative that they're pushing extremely hard because I believe it is the direction that they plan on going for combining and cleaning up some of the confusion from the timeline that the DCEU has already left us in. During the same panel of the multiverse, they did yet again confirm for us that Robert Pattinson's Batman is in a completely different parallel universe, another one that could potentially be getting its own Gotham-themed TV show on HBO Max. Now, again, there is a possibility for all of this to connect through the DC multiverse. And the next panel that followed directly after the multiverse chat panel was the Flash panel, where they all were talking about the importance of this movie moving on into the future of the DC universe, everything that they plan on doing. And they did say specifically that there is a plan to connect the movies and everything we've seen, as it showed different images from different movies about different Batmans, different Jokers, Wonder Woman, different Wonder Womans, all of the different characters that have been collected over years and years of creating DC content, and how they can all connect together and how they will all connect together through the Flash movie. So the DC multiverse is the new era of DC that we were talking about for a while, how this event is the turning point of DC, how they've been all over the place, they've been disappointing fans, they've been letting people down with what their idea of a collective universe was, where the whole time we've just been a little bit too close to the picture, and now they've kind of unveiled the big huge frame, and we see everything is planning on being connected, or at the very least, that's the plan now. Can't say whether or not that was what they were always planning on doing, and it seems a little doubtful. However, they are definitely starting to connect all the pieces, and they will be using the Flash movie to start the connection between all of those universes. And it makes sense. We're going to have Ben Affleck's Batman in there. The director recently confirmed in an interview we are also going to have Michael Keaton's Batman in there. So we're already starting to see some of the connecting points from the DC multiverse, the DC universe, as they're going to start to collide in this Flash movie. From that point forward, it's kind of an hourglass where all the movies are coming together into one point, and then we'll be separating back out into another. But the difference is there will now be this awareness of the DC multiverse for the fans, so it's something that we're able to piece together. Yes, it is 100% established that the Joker was in a different universe, that the Robert Pattinson Batman is in a different universe. Wonder Woman takes place somewhere else from those two, and then you have the Batman and the Flash and the Superman who are all connected into that one universe that was the DCEU. But now all of these things, the TV shows, the movies, the future plans, are all going to be connected through the DC multiverse, and that is going to happen through the Flash movie. That is what seems to be the theme for a lot of these panels, especially the ones related to the Flash and related to the movies that will be connecting to the Flash immediately. So keep your eyes open for that. A super, super cool idea, and something that is very exciting for me as a DC fanboy to see everything finally starting to connect. Not necessarily make sense just yet, but there is a purpose, there is a plan, and this collective universe just got a whole lot bigger. Guys, let me know what you think about this theory, about this idea in the comments down below. DC Fandome has been a real blast. We still have the Snyder Cut to go over, Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, so much more to talk about. So stay tuned, turn on your notification bell, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on DC Fandome and other major movie news. Guys, thank you so much for watching Cosmic Culture.